Okay, now once you guys have done all the part files, dimension them, put them into draft, okay, then we're going to do what we call an assembly. We're going to actually assemble all the puzzle cube parts together and assemble them so they're put together exactly the way you want them. So what you do, just go up here to new, and under the English, since this is in English units, we're looking for the assembly here. Okay, we want the standard inch IAM. And all we're going to do, kind of like what this little graphic here shows, we're going to assemble all the parts together. So you go to that, go to create. So it takes a little while to load up, but you're basically confronted here. Normal view, this is just the 3D. Come up here to the view box and just choose the home button, which is the isometric. And we're going to come up here to place. So we come up here to place, and you're going to find your part files. You're going to find your part files. And here I've got one right here. I'll just load this up. You can not load it, but I'll show it to you. And it just shows all the pieces together. So that's what we're going to create. So I'm going to start out with the, be quite honest, I don't remember how this goes together. It's been so long, so I might have to refer. I'll load this one up in case I forget. And we'll just leave that right there. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and do a new file here. Okay, so we're going to place the parts. I'm going to just start out with the black one. Put this in here. And that first one that you put in, once you get it in, then you can just press escape to get out of that. You can see these planes here. We want to shut all those planes off. So you come over here to whatever box that is, and just come here and turn off all those planes because you want to turn those all off. Just go to make them invisible and do all of those. Because when you start putting these pieces in, those will get in the way as far as choosing. Okay. Now, you need to understand the difference between mate and flush. Okay. I will have told you before this video. If I don't, then ask me because I can't show it to you right here. I need to actually show it to you in person. So make sure I've done that. So just remember, mating is where two surfaces go together, and flush is where they line up. Okay. So I'm going to put another piece in. Looks like that pink one there. I'm going to put that in there in that position. You can kind of see it right there. So I'm going to turn all those. I'm going to put that pink one in there. So I'm going to go to here, go to place. And let's see. There we go. Pink block. Go to open. And I'm just going to place it in here for right now. And I can put multiples of them in. I'm just going to go to right mouse click OK. I'm going to turn those planes off. And actually, I'll show you an easier way. Go to view, object visibility, go here, and get rid of all origin work planes, and that'll get rid of all those. So you go up here to view, object visibility, and turn those all off. Instead of individually shutting them off, here, in this area, just turn them off there. It's just a lot easier to do instead of going through and trying to do all of them. So that does that. Okay, so let's take a look at this one. Looks like this part right here. These two are going to mate right here. They're going to touch. Okay. So what I do is, not sure. I'm just going to go ahead and mate this right here to that. So what you do is you're going to go to mate these pieces together. So what we do is you go to assemble and go to constraint. It's kind of like up to this point, our constraints have been like geometric constraints, whether they're tangent, parallel, or whatever, and dimensional constraints, the sizes and stuff. This is a way that we're going to mate these together, you know. So if you go to constraints right here, this thing will pop up and you've got different choices. We'll learn the angle constraint, the tangent, the insert, and the symmetry. For right now, we're just going to be mate. So make sure you're on that. And you've got these two different choices, a flush. And you kind of look at it and it shows like the mate or the two pieces are going to be touching. The flush, they're going to be lined up. So I'm going to mate this surface because you're going to do two selections, the first selection and the second selections. So this one here, I need this part right here to be mated. I'm going to say to this. What? I'm going to mate it to that. I think that's the right one. If not, that's okay. I don't care. I'm going to just show you the mate. So I choose that. Then what it'll do is it'll rotate that around to where they're mated. And then what you do is you go here to apply. Make sure you do that. That's very important. You always got to do apply. And then you'll see that they're mated. Okay. I'm going to just cancel out of here. All right. Back to my isometric view. Now, if I try to move this, it'll move and it looks like it's not mated to that. But if you go to this front view, you'll see it's still mated. There's nothing I can do to move that. Okay. It's mated, it's constraint to it. And if you look over here, right here, if you open up each one of these, expand them, you'll see this mate. And if you put your cursor on it, it'll show you what surfaces are mated. Okay. All right. So they're mated there. So usually when you put these blocks in, you do a mate and then you're going to do two flushes. Now you'll notice that this piece can move too. We don't want that. Okay. So that first piece, usually it's grounded. Sometimes it isn't. Grounded means you can't move it. So we don't want that. We want this first piece that we put in to be grounded. So what you do is you right mouse click it and you make it grounded. Come down here to grounded. Now I won't be able to move that because it's grounded. It's stuck there. It's not going to move. It's grounded. Okay. So let's say this surface right here, we want to be even with this. So that's what we call flush. Now you can press the letter C. That's the keystroke command for constraint. You see that right there. It says C. So I can press C. Okay. This will pop up. Now this time I want to do flush. Okay. So remember, you're choosing two things here. First one is the surface on the one, and the second one is the surface on the second one. So I want these two to be flush. So notice how they're flushed. I can rotate this around. I'll show it. Then I go to apply. And if you look over here in the browser bar, you'll notice it says flush. Okay. And let's say we need the top of these two to be flush. So I make sure I'm on flush and I click that and that one and go to apply. And then that's now flush. Okay. So you got to know the difference between mate and flush. Mate means they touch. Flush means they're lined up. Now I want to make sure this is fully constrained, kind of like with dimensions and everything. So the way you check it, I'm going to try to drag this. Just press escape, get out of whatever you're in. I'm going to just try and drag this. Drag it, so that means fully constrained. If I got deleted this flush, let's say you screw up and you did the wrong surfaces. So what you do is you right mouse click it in here and just go delete. And see, now I can move that. Okay. So I'm going to reflush that. Just go to undo there. So that's how you can get those. Do one more, undo. There we go. Got the flush back. Okay. That's how you know. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to put each piece in one by one until you got it completely assembled. That's why it's important they have good drawings that help you to see that. Okay. So it's important that you understand the mate and the flush. It's really not hard to do. You just got to kind of, you know, move things around. Now, let's say I got to move this thing upside down. For instance, let's say I'm going to delete this flush constraint, and I'm going to delete this. We'll leave. Yeah, let's delete that one too. So let's say I need to flip this thing upside down. So like I need to flush this with the bottom of that. Okay, so I go to constraint. I'm on flush here. And click that, and I go to the underside of this and see how it flips it around. Okay, so that's how you flip things around. Sometimes they're not rotated correctly, so you have to kind of flip them around. That's how you do the mate and flush commands. In order to put these objects together, you'll have to do that. Okay, so once you get them all done, then just make sure that you save it, and then you're all set.